Hello and welcome to the Calmcast, a time to feel calm and think clearly. I'm Claire Downham, the Queen of Calm, a transformational life coach. I was a burnt out head teacher who finally made the journey to calm after years of trying, and I want to prevent you from having to do the same. The Calmcast is a series of short explorations, gently guiding you back to your natural state, which is calm and clarity. Just listen like you would listen to music, with an open mind and curiosity. There's nothing else to do. Now let's relax into today's episode. So today I'm talking about playfulness, and I'm talking about this today because yesterday we had an unexpected day yesterday. We were always planning to go and see my daughter in Reeton Sands, where she's was working at the Haven Holiday Park. Now, unfortunately, earlier last week, she hurt her shoulder trying to stop some falling glasses, and she's been signed off sick. So she's going back to university in September. She's come home. So yesterday we kind of had a day where we packed her up and got everything into the motorhome because we've been away, and then we set off home, and we decided to stop off at this place called Woldy's Lavender Farm. Now, I'd never been before. I just wanted to go see all the lavender growing, to be fair, and all the flowers and the bees and butterflies and things. But anyway, as we entered the place, it became apparent that this was a place that was geared towards quite small children. So there's me at 51, my fiance, well, nearly 51, and my daughter at 22, who arrive at this place that is covered with little tiny children. You know, it's clearly a place that is geared up for little children. But anyway, we decided to go the full hog, and we were given a little sheet when we arrived that had basically you had to collect these 5 stamps, which were like embossed stamp things as you went round the place, and there were all these activities to do, and we decided we were going to do them all. So we set off, and we had so much fun. We played giant Jenga because there was a maze, and through the maze are all these big games like noughts and crosses and Jenga and Connect Four, and we just had so much fun. And then there was a bit with a bee garden, which was all about the bees, and there were lots of beautiful wildflowers for the bees and stuff. And there was a game where you had to collect pine. You had the set a timer, and you had to get pine cones and pick them up and take them and put them in the holes of this big wooden hive thing. And we were just playing. And the other thing you had to do was make the noise of the pollen collector that you decided to be. So all the instructions were on, I think. So I was a bee, so I was buzzing backwards and forwards. My daughter decided she'd be a butterfly, so she was flapping her wings or fluttering, so she was going flap, 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 and I was going buzz, buzz. I can't remember what Bruce was doing. And we were just playing the games just like little children. And I did notice the odd thought of, you're a 51-year-old grown woman, what on earth are you doing playing like a child? But those thoughts felt old and not really mine anymore. So I ignored them and carried on being silly. And we all did. And we just had a lovely, lovely day. I don't know why I'm getting so emotional. Because I am. Because I think those are tears of relief, because I've spent so much of my life thinking about what other people think about me, and it stopped me, as I'm sure you can relate, it stopped me doing the things that I want to do, the things that would bring me joy. And I have seen it, dropping away over the last few years. It's not so long since that I would no way have shown up with just a title and a few words to do a live session or record something like this. It just wouldn't have been on the cards for me back then, because I would have been too concerned about what you all thought, who turned up to watch, what they were going to say about it, etc., etc. And those voices in my head, we're calling them thoughts, by the way. I've not just got voices in my head. We've all got voices in our heads, haven't we? Those voices in my head, those thoughts stopped me from doing things that I would have enjoyed. That noise was me getting a tissue, by the way. I guess the tears of sadness as well, because I've missed things. I've missed joy where I could have had fun. I'm very fortunate that I have a partner and a daughter who are as ridiculous as me, which is really cool, because we had such a lovely day and we had such a fun time. But I wonder, as I contemplate this, how many of us are not doing things, or even doing things because it looks like, as a grown-up, you've got to be serious and sensible and doing the right thing and not upsetting other people and not making bee noises and running around a child's play area. And I suspect that that's what's being revealed to me at the moment, is this going back to the child. And I don't mean that in a kind of inner childy kind of way. I mean that, when we're born, we're just this bundle of joy, aren't we? We're this bundle of not caring what anybody thinks about us. We have no thought. We just don't have, and it's not like with me now, I can still, those thoughts are still there. They still are twittering away, but they just feel a bit like, the image just came to me of a crusty old autumn leaf that's just on its last legs, really, and is all crispified and just no use to the tree anymore. Oh, that's nice. I've not said that before. I like that. And, so the tree's let go of it. It's still there on the ground near the tree, kind of nearby. And the tree might notice the old leaf, but it's not going to go pick the old leaf up and put it back in the tree. And there's space for us to do that, to start to see the old crusty thoughts that are not any use to us anymore, and just let them go. And I know that sounds easier said than done, but it is possible. When you realize what those thoughts are, that they're not really anything to do with you, that they're just this old remnant of life, an old life, a past life of yours. Not like because you were the Queen of England in a previous life. I mean, because they're part of an old part of your journey. They're not part of now. It's a bit like trying to make a journey, from Birmingham to London using the map you used to get from Leeds to Birmingham. It just wouldn't work. You need a new map. You need a new way of thinking to do life to the full. And that's available to all of us all the time. And for me, it's impacting on every single part of my life. It's impacting on my relationships. It's impacting on my business. It's impacting on my weekends, where I feel more space to just be silly and joyous and just enjoy myself with nothing on it, with no Well, with no heaviness, because I think I might have forced myself to do those things before, but there would have been this self-conscious sort of, I'm not sure about this thing going on. And there's just not that. So I guess what I'm saying is don't wait. Don't get to 78 and suddenly go, oh my goodness, I've not been playful. I've been carrying the weight of the world around with me all this time. You don't have to live life that way. There's something amazing available underneath our thinking when we are reconnected back to our childlike self, because that's who we like. That I see that so much more now, that the childlike, tiny childlike, toddler-like way of being is who you really are. Infinite creativity and infinite fun and infinite joy and infinite wisdom. Those things are all available to you, because wisdom is not to do with being old and knowing stuff. Wisdom is being guided. And I think little children are that all over. They're amazing, and you're amazing too, and your little child is still in there. Then they want to come out and play a game where you run around making the sound of a bee. They do. Much love.
Thank you so much for listening. There's nothing to do now but bring some awareness to how this is working out in your life. Listen regularly to experience longer and longer periods of calm. This has been the Calmcast with Claire Downham, Queen of Calm. Take care and keep listening.